We're back with WSJ Lunch Break and Wendy Bounds. Wearable tech from smart glasses to watches is expected to become a $10 billion industry by 2016, but is now actually the time to outfit yourself. We've got Kelli Grant, our personal finance correspondent here on Lunch Break, over from MarketWatch. She's got some answers. Google, Microsoft, Apple, they're all digging into this market, Kelli, but I want you to walk us through kind of the nuts and bolts of what's coming. What are these wearable technologies going to do?
Well, a lot of them are still rumored, so we're not quite clear on that, but the idea is going to be, with the exception of Google Glasses, which are going to be actual glasses, that most of this is going to be something that looks like a wristwatch, a wrist-worn technology that, of course, it tells time, but it probably also does a lot of functions that your phone does too, so it'll alert you to an incoming phone call, sort of syncs with your phone in that way. Incoming emails, reminds you of calendar appointments. You can check your Facebook messages, get new tweets, kind of all of those interesting things your phone does, but on a handy little wrist display.
So basically, we're no longer going to have to reach in our back pocket to get something. We just twist our wrist up, because that extra motion was too much for us to have to do that.
It's too much, but I guess
too arduous.
Because you always see people out with their phones now. It's maybe a little more subtle.
Oh, that's just what we need now. People at the restaurants just glancing at their wrists. All right, let's talk about what's already on the market, though. We've been seeing a lot of these so-called smart watches, which is kind of a misnomer anyway to call them a watch, because that's sort of not the main function. But they do everything. They do, fitness is a big aspect of them. We're already seeing a lot of those.
It can be, yes. We've seen actually a number of these devices have been out for years. One of them, from a couple of years ago, was Motorola's Moto Active, which is a $250 device. It's an MP3 player, it's a fitness tracker, and if you have an Android phone, it alerts you to those missed calls, emails, calendar appointments, all of those things. So, that's been out there for a while. We've also seen a lot of Kickstarter type projects that have been coming out just this spring. There were maybe a dozen or so watches that showed up at the Consumer Electronics Show in January. We've got the $150 Pebble, there's $250 Martian. There's all sorts of interesting watches that are out there that are possibilities, but they're from smaller players, so you might need to be a little bit more cautious about how well does it work, and is it worth the money that you're shelling out?
And does it do too many things? I mean, that can be one problem with some of these gadgets, is that if they do too much, they become too complicated. People don't want to use them. They're sort of trying, I guess, to figure out which of these gadgets will focus in on what particular type of device it's going to be.
Exactly. Some of them are really complex. You can even, for a few of them, actually answer your phone just by voice commanding it at your wrist, which might be a little much for some people. I think that'd be a little much for me, honestly. So it remains to be seen really what people are going to be interested here. And of course, we are waiting to see, with a major player like Apple. I mean, if there's something like an iWatch coming out, I think that's, just by value that it's Apple is going to draw some.
Right, and same thing with Google. I mean, with the Google Glass, especially the video component of the Google Glass is such a big selling point, because you're not having to actually sort of lift something up in front of your face. You can just sort of tap it, and what you see is what you do and what you get. And Google has a cool factor to it, as Apple does. Now, Microsoft getting in on this, not the same cool factor maybe, but maybe they have an opportunity to do it.
They certainly don't have that cool factor right away, but if they come up with something really innovative, then the analysts we talked to said that's a great opportunity for them to position themselves as sort of that must-have gadget, because for all of these, just being an early adopter and having a smartwatch is going to get you that sort of cool early adopter vibe. But to some extent, with so many players on the market, it's about not just having a smartwatch, but having the right one, which may mean waiting. So there's a bigger player that's got something out.
And one that looks good. All right, Kelli Grant, thanks so much for being with us. You can read more about that on marketwatch.com.